Okay, so what we're going to look at today is the payable screen and the idea of filter sets. So when you first configure Intacct, there are no filter sets, but it is really handy to be able to separate the invoices that are ready for payment by the payment method that you want to pay them by. So whether it's check or ACH or another payment method. So you can use filter sets to do that. So if I add a new filter set, you can see the option I have on the vendor, preferred payment method, and then equals. And now we have check, credit card, record transfer, cash, ACH, or bank file. So this is a standard list of values in Intacct, and we cannot actually extend it. We can't add values to it or remove values from it. So some clients find this a little bit restrictive because they have payment methods of a pre-authorized debit where it comes out of their account, but they just want to mark it as paid in Intacct, or they have a wire transfer. So they want to kind of keep those separate to mark them as paid, to be able to go into payables and mark them as paid collectively. So in order to overcome that, I've suggested a custom field on the vendor record with a predefined list of values. So what we're going to do today is create that custom field and then use it in custom filter sets on the payables screen. So I'm going to go to Platform Services, Custom Fields. I'm going to add a new field. It's on the vendor record. And it's just going to be a pick list. I'm going to call it pay code. Let's make it a user-friendly sentence case. Pay code, and my values be something like ACH, EFT, wire, check. I'm going to put PAD as pre-authorized debit, and I think that's probably fine for now. It's got a field code, and then we can make this field required as well, just to ensure that it is always populated. And I'm going to save the record. Now I'm going to go back to my payables screen. I'm going to create a few filter sets. So filter by add a filter set. So I'm going to call this filter set wire. I'm going to share the filter, so this makes it public. So anyone who has access to this, this function will be able to use and see the filter. I want this to be across all entities. It's not entity specific. And my drill down is going to be by the vendor. So remember, I called the field pay code equals, and then wire. So this is my wire filter set. I'm going to save it. And I'm going to create another filter set. I'm going to call it PAD, which is my pre-authorized debit. I'm going to do the same thing. Add all my entities. Going to say my vendor pay code equals, this one is the pre-authorized debit. So for the purposes of this example, I'm just going to use those two payment methods. Now, obviously, if I select PAD and apply the filter, there's actually going to be no invoices ready to be paid because I haven't actually assigned that custom field to any vendors yet. So I'm just putting the default filter. So what I'm going to do in another screen, just going to duplicate my browser. I'm going to go to Accounts Payable, Vendors, and the one vendor that's got an outstanding invoice is Lenovo. You can see the pay code field here. It's got a little asterisk, so I wouldn't actually be able to save the record until I've updated. So I'm going to make Lenovo a pre-authorized debit. This one, just going to copy that. Going to search on that vendor. I'm also going to make it a pre-authorized debit. Save. Okay, so I'm just going to do those two for now. So now if I select my filter of pre-authorized debit and apply the filter, you'll see it restricts the list of invoices that I see to just those where the vendor's payment method is pre-authorized debit. So if I were to follow this example through to the end, the payment method within Intacct would be record transfer, because pre-authorized debit is you're not actually paying it out of Intacct. You're not generating an ACH file. You're not generating a check. You're actually just marking it as paid because it's already come out of your bank account. So the payment method would be record transfer, but at least you can filter the different types of record transfers like wire, pre-authorized debit, etc.